Hello, it's Tori Henderson with lifecoachingforparents.com. Today's question comes from a mom who says, with my teenagers spending so much time on social media, how do I know that I'm still being a good influence on them? Like, I want to make sure I am influencing them in equal amounts with social media and their friends. So it's a great question, right? We have all these great studies that show that parents really are a very strong influence on their teenagers and the decisions that they make. And having a close connected bond with your teenager really helps. But social media is changing the landscape. We don't know exactly if we're going to be able to have as much influence on our kids as we've had on them in the past as parents. So we'll have to see what the research shows. But so for now, I thought I would share with you the one thing that studies have shown has their lives, their futures, but into every area of their life, right? You could project enthusiasm into, your career, your house, your friends and social events, the politics that you are proud of, and movements that you're taking part of in, all these things. If we can go through life with bold enthusiasm, then we will have a stronger ability to influence our teenagers. And to break this down and to give you some little tips for how to be a strong influence on your teenager, the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure you're empathizing with their struggle. If your kid's having a bad day or going through a rough patch with a friend or with school or whatever, you don't want to just come in with bold enthusiasm and ignore their struggle. You really no time these days and kind of remember what it was like when you were a teenager and tell them about some of the struggles that you went through and how it can be really hard, and it's okay to have a bad day. Right now, teenagers are getting a ton of messages through social media that it's not okay to be sad, girls especially, sad, mad, scared, all these negative emotions. Girls especially are getting the message that they have to be happy and excited all the time, and that's the only thing they're allowed to have. So as parents, we can really influence them a lot by giving them permission to have a bad day, have a bad relationship with a friend that goes sour. It's all normal and it's all okay. Number 2 is to see your teenager with fresh eyes. Sometimes as parents, we can get kind of locked into how they used to be when they were little, and we kind of think that we know them already. And sometimes it's really hard to be open to being surprised by them every day. We can kind of go, oh, of course they're not going to remember their homework. They never remember their homework. Or I have to make sure I tell him 20 times in order to get him to remember something. We can get stuck in the past and the child that our kid was. And we really want to see them with fresh eyes, like every day. Like, who am I going to meet today? Who's going to come home from school today? Who's going to come down the stairs today? And to be open to however they're going to present themselves. Maybe they're changing their outfits to go with their new personalities that they're trying on during their adolescence. Maybe they are wanting to experiment, and am I, kind of more goth and alternative, or am I more like a theater dork, or, what kind of nerdiness am I going to embrace myself with today? And just being open to letting your kids show, what they value, what's important to them, and really be excited about that, kind of be their cheerleader. Sometimes it can be hard if it's a different value than mine. When my daughter wanted to be a vegetarian, I just went like, oh God, my son is paleo, and the cooking in my house is so difficult. But I really wanted to support her love of animals, which was her reason. And so making sure that we're being a cheerleader for them and their interests, and being open to them changing before our eyes. Number 3 is to take the emotional lead. So we have these mirror neurons in our brains that it's easy for us to get caught up. If we're not conscious and we're not aware, other people can affect our emotions. If your kid is just cranky all the time, or depressed or anxious, we can follow their lead. And suddenly, you're feeling cranky and depressed and anxious. And so we really need, when kids hit adolescence, it's very important for parents to take the lead, the emotional lead, and say, I am going to choose the emotion I want to bring into my house so that your child can follow yours. Her mirror neurons can match yours rather than you matching hers. So it was fine when they were little and they're so cute and happy and bubbly and we could just follow their lead and it was awesome. But as they hit adolescence, you might not want to let your teenager choose your emotion for that day. So we do that a lot in my telecourse called Leading Your Teen. That's where the title came from. Number 4 is imagine a beautiful future. This is where you can really plug that bold enthusiasm and really get excited about how you picture them, because a lot of times parents can futurize and catastrophize and like, oh my gosh, he can't even clean up his room. How is he gonna, ever get married someday? I don't know. We can kind of take this into the future. Who's ever gonna want to live with him? He can't even bake a potato. He's gonna starve to death, whatever. We put all that futurizing and catastrophing aside. We can adopt bold enthusiasm for their future. I'm so excited for you to, go to a new school next year and make new friends and figure out who you want to be and meet new teachers. And even if your kid's feeling nervous, you can honor their struggle if they're feeling nervous about the new school, but you can still project bold enthusiasm into their future, right? College is going to be amazing. I'm so excited you're going to get to have that experience. Even though it's going to be really hard and we're going to miss you, I know you're going to do great things. So these are the kind of my 4 tips for how to influence your kids and be a strong influence in your kids' lives so that they want to listen to what you have to say. They're open to hearing your words, because it's really, we're talking about is the opposite of worry, stress, and panic. So we don't want to project that onto our kids because it makes them want to distance themselves from us or start worrying and panicking themselves. So if you need a little bit of help with letting go of worry and stress and with your teenagers, then you can sign up for a free life coaching session at lifecoachingforparents.com/workwithme. And I hope to talk to you soon. I love you and leave you. Good luck.